Hello and welcome. You are watching News 9. I'm Shivakumar. These are our top stories. Fresh protests rock Manipur. Protesters block roads and burn tires in Imphal Valley following the arrest of 10 village volunteers in Kaching district. Even God can't change Bengaluru, says Karnataka's Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, sparking social media outrage over the state of delayed projects and traffic woes in the city. Vice President Dhankar reacts to the USAID controversy, calls it an attempt to influence and control the democratic process in India. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan calls Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's criticism of the three-language policy myopic, calls on him to rise above politics. The Delhi government will upgrade 553 mohalla clinics to urban Ayushman Arogya Mandirs and establish over 400 new such mandirs under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. India has rejected Bangladesh's demand to revive the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation or SAARC. Bangladeshi interim government's foreign affairs advisor Tauheed Hussain had made the demand recently during a meeting with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar in Muscat. Dhaka had also requested New Delhi to initiate discussions for the renewal of the Ganges Water Treaty signed in 1996. India believes that Bangladesh wants to hold the SAARC conference to give an international platform to Pakistan against India. Reacting to the demand, India's Ministry of External Affairs said that India cannot accept the demand for the revival of SAARC.
EM met with Bangladesh foreign advisor in Muscat. Everyone in South Asia is aware of which country and what activities are responsible for stymieing SAARC. EM conveyed that it is important that Bangladesh should not normalize terrorism. Regarding a second question about the comments being made by certain advisors and what sort of impact it will have on our dealings, we have taken note of such remarks, which are of course not helpful. It is for the concerned individuals to reflect on implications for their particular domain.
India has rejected the demand coming in from Bangladesh for the revival of SAARC, SAARC, or the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Bangladesh's interim government's foreign affairs advisor Tauheed Hussain making that demand recently during a meeting with India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar. That meeting which took place in Muscat, and now the big story at this hour is that India has rejected that demand. Apart from that demand, Bangladesh had also asked India to initiate discussions for the Ganges Water Treaty's renewal, the Ganges Water Treaty that was signed back in the year 1996. Now, India has rejected Bangladesh's demand to revive SAARC because it could be the platform, an international platform that Bangladesh wants to give to Pakistan against India. Bangladesh seeking the revival of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, and India saying a strong no to it. And the reasoning behind that is that the Ministry of External Affairs of India believes that if SAARC is indeed revived, it will become an international platform that Bangladesh is giving to Pakistan against India. Reacting to the demand, the Ministry of External Affairs of India has said that India cannot accept the demand for the revival of SAARC at a time when the diplomatic relationship between the two nations are tense. Comes this latest update that Bangladesh's move to revive the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, or SAARC, has been struck down by India. India, in fact, telling Bangladesh not to normalize terror. This after the confirmation that came in from the Ministry of External Affairs of India. Ministry of External Affairs confirming that the matter was brought up by Bangladesh. We have Aditya Raj Kaul, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs, now joining us for more. Aditya, talk to us. That's a firm no from India. No way that India wants to revive something that will end up giving a platform to Pakistan and terror.
Absolutely. A very strong statement coming in from the Indian government, where Ranveer Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the India's Ministry of External Affairs, confirming that yes, Bangladesh had raised the concerns on SAARC and how SAARC should be rebuilt, and SAARC meetings and foreign affairs meetings and the SAARC summit in itself should happen yet again. But India very firmly responded and said that terrorism will not be tolerated, and India will certainly not tolerate Bangladesh trying to normalize and mainstream terrorism. Remember, SAARC was in fact dysfunctional ever since Pakistan-sponsored terrorism happened, not just in Pathankot and Uri, but in Pulwama as well. And that's what led to the ending of the SAARC summit. And the SAARC grouping in itself became irrelevant because of Pakistan's continuous support to terrorism. And there were other SAARC members that stood with India completely on not continuing SAARC until Pakistan responds to terror and takes decisive action. And this time around as well, we've seen in Bangladesh, in fact, continuous attacks on the minorities, including Hindus, Christians and Ahmadiyas. Apart from that, members of the Awami League being killed, being kidnapped, and their houses being gutted completely. In fact, very recently, Krishna, Sheikh Hasina had also mentioned that Muhammad Yunus, the interim government chief in Bangladesh, was in fact a terrorist in himself because he was trying to build Bangladesh as a nation of terrorism, as a nation of terrorists. He has been giving a long rope to elements like the Islamists of Jamaat-e-Islami, the BNP and others as well, who do not believe firmly in the enshrined principles of democracy and liberal values that Bangladesh really stood for several decades. So a very firm response coming in from the Indian government that it will not allow terrorism to be mainstreamed by Bangladesh government, and they should take decisive steps against radicals and terror elements who are trying to promote enmity and are detrimental to the peace in the region.
Aditya Raj Kaul, they are getting us the latest on that big story that we're tracking. Thank you, Aditya, for joining us with that. Moving on to the controversy surrounding USAID funding, which refuses to die down. In the latest press briefing, India's Ministry of External Affairs' spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal has expressed serious concerns over foreign interference in India's internal affairs. Addressing the media, Jaiswal stated that the remarks by the US government were deeply troubling. The Ministry of External Affairs has assured that an update will be provided once the investigation progresses.
We have seen information that has been put out by the US administration regarding certain USAID activities and funding. These are obviously very deeply troubling. This has led to concerns about foreign interference in India's internal affairs. Relevant departments and agencies are looking into this matter. It would be premature to make a public comment at this stage. So, relevant authorities are looking into this matter, and hopefully we can come up with an update on that subsequently.
Meanwhile, a full-blown war of words has erupted between the BJP and the Congress party over claims surrounding that controversial $21 million USAID funding, initially flagged as money meant for voter turnout to be boosted in India by the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency. The narrative has now shifted with new reports suggesting that the funds were actually allocated to Bangladesh. At the heart of this political row is an article of the Indian Express indicating that of the $21 million, nearly $13.5 million had already been dispersed for political and civic engagement among Bangladeshi students ahead of the January 2024 elections. The report further raised concerns over the integrity of these elections occurring months before the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. However, BJP's IT cell head Amit Malviya has dismissed the report as fake, accusing the Indian Express of omitting crucial details. In a post on social media platform X, he claimed that the publication ignored a 2012 Memorandum of Understanding between India's Election Commission under the leadership of S.Y. Qureshi and the International Foundation for Electoral Systems, an organization linked to George Soros's Open Society Foundation, which is primarily funded by USAID. The debate took another turn when US President Donald Trump addressed the controversy, referring to the funding as part of a larger kickback scheme, though he did not specify who allegedly benefited.
Approving public procurement in Serbia, $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Why are we caring about India turnout? We got enough problems. We want our own turnout, don't we? Can you imagine all that money going to India? I wonder what they think when they get it. Now, it's a kickback scheme. You know, it's not like they get it and they spend. They kick it back to the people that send it, I would say, in many cases. Many of these cases, anytime you have no idea what we're talking about, that means there's a kickback, because nobody has any idea what's going on there. $29 million to strengthen the political landscape in Bangladesh. Nobody knows what they mean by political landscape. What does that mean? $20 million for fiscal federalism and $19 million for biodiversity in Nepal. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. What the hell do I care about? We got a lot. We got enough problems. And all of this is terminated. We terminated this stuff, and we're on the track. And by the way, so many others I could read all night long, but so many were so terrible, and some were actually disgusting. And I know you're eating your dinner, so I didn't want to do that. But we're draining the swamp. And, you know, one of them was $100 million for condoms for Hamas. You heard about that.
Meanwhile, the Congress party has hit back. Jairam Ramesh in a post accused the BJP of spreading lies, stating, and I quote, "Lies first mouthed in Washington, lies then amplified by BJP's Jhoot Sena, lies now thoroughly exposed. Will the liars apologize?" Unquote. Congress party leader Pawan Kheda has also weighed in, questioning whether foreign-funded protests in the past, such as those led by Smriti Irani and Anna Hazare, had similar backing.
USAID भारत में नरेंद्र मोदी जी को डिस्टेबलाइज, अस्थिर करने के लिए $21 मिलियन दिया। भाई कहां है आपके डोवल साहब? कहां है आपकी आईबी? कहां है आपकी रॉ? ये तो विश्व गुरु हैं। ये तो यूक्रेन से लेकर और पता नहीं कहां पूरे विश्व में जाकर तिकड़मे लगाते हैं। कभी सुनते हैं विदेशों में कुछ कर दिया कांड, कई तिकड़मे लगा रहे होते हैं। तो जब इतनी तिकड़मे आप विदेशों में लगाते हो, आपके देश में $21 मिलियन आया, तो ये तो आपके चेहरे पे तमाचा है। क्यों आने दिया आपने? हम यूएसएड या जो भी ये फॉरेन फंडिंग एजेंसीज हैं, हम उनके खिलाफ नहीं है। देश में कानून है, कानून के तहत फंड्स आते हैं, एनजीओज भी लेते हैं, इनके एनजीओज भी लेते हैं, इंडिया फाउंडेशन भी लेती है, विवेकानंद फाउंडेशन भी लेती है। कौन नहीं लेता? लेकिन सिलेक्टिवली आप बोलें कि साहब कांग्रेस की सरकारों ने ले लिया। अरे जब स्मृति ईरानी ब्रांड एम्बेसडर थी यूएसएड की और सिलेंडर लेकर यहां सड़कों पर प्रदर्शन करती थी, तो क्या यूएसएड करवा रहा था वो प्रदर्शन? बताइए। अन्ना हजारे, उनका एक वीडियो मैं भी आपको दिखाता हूं। यहां आंदोलन किया, हमारी सरकार उसके बाद चुनाव हारी। फिर वो अमेरिका में गए, रोड शो किया उन्होंने।
As the controversy deepens, even Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has now raised concerns about the remarks made by President Trump of the US.
What has been revealed by President of the United States with full sense of responsibility. The democratic process of this country was sought to be moderated, manipulated, to dent purity of our electoral system. I am sure it emanates from a person in authority. Because one thing is right, because that is factual. Amount was given. Amount is not small.
BJP's Gaurav Bhatia intensified the attack, accusing Rahul Gandhi of enabling foreign interference in India's electoral process.
बहुत ही अहम बिंदु पे की जा रही है और ऐसे तथ्यों पे की जा रही है कि विपक्ष, खासकर राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी का जो भारत विरोधी चरित्र बन गया है, यह बेहद ही चिंताजनक है। सबसे पहले इसकी पृष्ठभूमि क्या है, मैं उसको आपके समक्ष रख दूंगा। ये अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जी, उन्होंने एक वक्तव्य दिया। उन्होंने बताया किस तरह से यूएसएड की जो फंडिंग है, ये भारत में जो चुनावी प्रक्रिया है, इसमें हस्तक्षेप करने के लिए इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा था और ऐसा क्यों किया जाना चाहिए। अब थोड़ा पीछे चलते हैं। लोकसभा के चुनाव से पहले भी आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने तमाम
Meanwhile, BJP MP Mahesh Jethmalani has turned the spotlight on Veena Reddy, the former India director for USAID. He questioned her role, alleging that her posting in the year 2021, leading up to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections of India, was strategic, suggesting that she left India immediately after the elections, avoiding scrutiny over the funding's allocation. With both sides trading barbs, the controversy has now spiraled into a larger debate on foreign influence, electoral integrity, and the credibility of political narratives. Karnataka's Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, the proponent of brand Bengaluru, has now said that, and I quote, "Even God cannot fix Bengaluru." D.K. Shivakumar is also, bear in mind, Minister in charge of Bengaluru development. While inaugurating a workshop on road construction organized by the BBMP, he said that even God cannot fix Bengaluru without a proper plan, even if a time of 3 years is invested in it. He said that the condition of Bengaluru can only be changed when proper planning is done and it's executed well.
ಗಾಡಿಗಳು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ತಮಗೂ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ವಿದಿನ್ 1 year, 2 year, 3 year ಈ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರೋಂಥ ಭಗವಂತ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನಡೆದಾಡಿದ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ. ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ರೂಪರೇಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನೀಗಾಗಲೇ ಸುರಂಗ ರಸ್ತೆ, ನಾನು ಟನಲ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಿಂದಲೂ ನಾನು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ನು ಟೆಂಡರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Because there are lot of technical issues, lot of land acquisition issues, financial issues, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಡಬಲ್ ಡೆಕ್ಕರ್ 40 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಇರೋ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆಲ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಸಿಟಿ ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದಾಗಲೇ ಮುಗಿದೋಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನೇ ನಾವು ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಡೆಕ್ಕರ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
DK Shivakumar also said that he had instructed the BBMP or the Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, the Municipal Council of Bengaluru, to remove all cables hanging in the open and lay them underground or even cut them. Bengaluru has long been suffering from problems like traffic congestion, potholes and water shortages, which have severely dented that quote-unquote brand Bengaluru pitched by DK Shivakumar. Now, BJP State Chief B.Y. Vijayendra, meanwhile, said that DK Shivakumar and the Congress party, which came to power promising to make Bengaluru like Singapore and to develop the state further, are now making such statements. Alleging that the Congress government is incapable of filling potholes in Bengaluru, he said that they're now talking about tunnel roads. He said, and I quote, "No development work is happening in Bengaluru. Legislators are not getting funds for development works. But the Congress party talks about development. This is a tragedy for Bengaluru, which is a city recognized world over," unquote.
See, if God cannot change the scenario of the Bangalore, will this government change? What type of statement it is, I don't know. So then why he wanted to be a minister in Bangalore Development Authority? He should have quit. If he cannot do anything to saturate the anomalies in the Bangalore, he should quit immediately. Some other will come and do. See, Bangalore is not born today. It has 400 to 500 years of history. Now, you say nobody can change this. But we will change. We will show that we will change this. Come, you resign.
And now we have my colleague Gautam Shankar joining us from Bengaluru for more on that big story that we're tracking. Gautam, prophetic words or the opposite of it coming from DK Shivakumar, and that sparking a war of words between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka.
Yes, Krishna. On one hand, I do sympathize with what DK Shivakumar is saying there, that even God cannot fix the problems in the next 1, 2 or 3 years. What he's trying to actually say here is that the level of difficulty involved in trying to fix Bangalore's traffic woes. But that on one side aside, he knew about this. It's not new to Bangalore. The Bangalore's traffic situation hasn't gotten worse over the last 1 year or 2 years. It has been an issue that has been prevalent for the last 10 years or so, and it's only getting worse. And he knew about this. So he should have known what kind of damage a statement like this saying that even if God comes down, he will not be able to fix Bangalore's traffic problems in the next few years. Now, this statement in itself, he made it during BBMP's event, which is basically aimed at fixing the city's roads. The initiative itself is called Namaraste. Now, Shivakumar actually did go on to say a few suggestions as well. He said that there has to be better planning for urban infrastructure, including roads and etc. But one of the other points that he said in this bite that we have here is that he's planning for tunnel roads. Now, this proposal for tunnel roads to fix Bangalore's traffic hasn't been very well welcomed by the citizens or even experts as well, saying that it is only going to add to the city's woes, and completion of these tunnels will still take almost a decade's time. So this is not the thing. Right now, what can be done, since he is the Bangalore development minister here, he needs to look at quick fix solutions that he can at least have for the city in the immediate future. Because keep in mind, we already have metro prices, ticket fares that have been increased, and because of that, more private vehicles are going to come into the streets of city. So these are the minor issues to look at here when he speaks that God can't fix Bangalore's traffic woes here, Krishna.